Here, let's see. Does this have good audio? Yes, it does. All right, here you go. We'll switch over to space news here. And I'm going to take a quick break. I will be back momentarily. Enjoy the video.
The Space Transportation System, America's hope for routine access to space. But before the hope can become a reality, the system must complete the two remaining missions of its flight test program, proving itself a reusable, reliable transport into space. Many of the flight test objectives have already been accomplished. A spectacular first launch, then successful second launch of the same spacecraft. 2 pinpoint landings, dramatic decreases in vehicle turnaround time, successful on-orbit checkout of the remote manipulator system, and solid evidence Columbia can be used as a scientific platform for Earth observation. The third flight will push the system even further, proving Columbia can also be used for space observation, completing extensive tests of the remote manipulator system, checking out equipment to be used on later flights for medical research and drug manufacturing, testing an unpainted external fuel tank, which costs and weighs less than the 2 previous tanks, and planning the mission to last 7 full days, so that extensive thermal soak tests can be done on the vehicle and its systems. STS-3 is the most challenging and ambitious mission of the flight test program so far. Much needs to be accomplished for it to be a success, and for the orbital flight test program to reach its ultimate goal, routine space flights. The goal of STS-3 is to bring the system one step closer to that reality. Less than 1 week before liftoff, heavy rains at Edwards Air Force Base in California flooded Rogers Dry Lake Bed, making a landing there impossible. It was decided to land the orbiter instead at Northrop Strip, the alternate landing site at White Sands, New Mexico. Northrop Strip is located in the northern part of White Sands National Monument, in the middle of the U.S. Army's White Sands Missile Range. The remoteness of the area, a dry season that alternates with California's rainy season, and the availability of the Army's aircraft tracking network all contributed to NASA's decision to name Northrop Strip as an alternate landing site several years ago. A microwave landing system used by the orbiter during automatically controlled phases of approach and landing was installed on one runway. And a stiff-leg derrick was erected for hoisting Columbia atop the 747 aircraft, which would ferry it back to Florida. But the equipment necessary to safe Columbia after landing and prepare it for its trip back to the Cape was still at Edwards Air Force Base, over 1,000 miles from White Sands. And liftoff was only 4 days away. A highly organized, pre-planned operation was set in motion by NASA and implemented by the Department of Defense to move the tons of equipment and supplies from California to New Mexico. 2 trains were chartered from the Santa Fe Railroad for the journey. The cargo reached El Paso, Texas near sunset the second day. There, the Southern Pacific Railroad took over. When the trains reached Holloman Air Force Base, they were unloaded, and the mobile equipment was driven the remaining 23 miles. The non-mobile cargo was transported by trucks. In concert with this operation, a plan to erect temporary facilities on the remote lake bed for support personnel, news media, and the public was also set in motion. A mobility unit from Holloman Air Force Base was called in to build shelters, barracks, a viewing area 5 miles from the landing site for the public, and a press area for the news media. Within 3 days, all construction was complete. Northrop Strip, which before consisted of only a runway and control tower, was now a total encampment, ready to safe Columbia after landing and prepare it for its trip back to Florida. This task could never have been completed without support from both the Army and Air Force. With their help, Northrop Strip was now ready to support the landing.
T-minus 15. The sequencer on the orbiter is now controlling the final seconds. 10. We are go for main engine ignition. 8, 7, 6. We have main engine ignition.
Roger, Columbia rolling.
Going to the blue skies.
Roger, sounds good. Columbia, Houston, you're go at throttle up.
Roger, go throttle up. We're going here too.
Columbia, Houston, negative seats.
Negative seats. DC-50, Houston.
DC-50.
Okay, there's 103. Boy, the first part of this ride is a real barn burner.
The crew for STS-3, Commander Jack Lausma, a Marine colonel and veteran of the Skylab 3 mission that stayed in space 59 days. The pilot, Air Force Colonel Gordon Fullerton. This was his first time in space. Fullerton was given primary responsibility for the extensive remote manipulator system tests done on this flight. With him at the controls, the arm demonstrated its payload handling capability.
Okay, well, we got a capture and a grapple.
Hey, that's good news.
Rigidized and got all the normal contact.
That's super, and we're seeing the data.
The induced environment contamination monitor was to be unberthed first on this flight. However, the arm's wrist camera malfunctioned, making viewing the contamination monitor very difficult. Since the plasma diagnostic package was also to be unberthed, and because its guideposts could easily be seen with the aid of binoculars, it was substituted for the contamination monitor, proving again the flexibility of the system. The clearance between the plasma diagnostics package and the other experiments on the pallet was only 2 inches, a tight fit, but one which Fullerton was able to master within 5 minutes. 7 auto trajectories, computer-controlled maneuvers of the arm on an invisible plot were evaluated on STS-3 using the plasma diagnostics package. At the same time, the experiment also measured changes in the plasma field in and around the payload bay, as Columbia traveled through the ionosphere and monitored electromagnetic interference between the ionosphere and electronic equipment on board shuttle. The new knowledge will help scientists understand how larger celestial bodies move through plasmas and aid engineers in designing sensing equipment for future shuttle experiments. Several times during the mission, the ARM and plasma diagnostic package operated in conjunction with a fast pulse electron generator to study the interaction of a stream of electrons emitted into the ionosphere. The result? A glow caused by atoms in the plasma being disturbed by the electron stream. Hopefully, this new knowledge will lead to a better understanding of how the same phenomena might occur in nature, for instance, in the aurora borealis. Other experiments studied the electrical buildup on the orbiter as it moved through the ionosphere, and contamination in and around the payload bay created by outgassings and thruster firings. These phenomena could affect scientific instruments and sensitive astronomy observations on future shuttle flights. On board, research in life sciences involved several instruments which were stored on the middeck. The plant lignification and weightlessness experiment was a preliminary study of lignin growth in zero gravity. It is hoped that in the absence of gravity, woody plants might produce less lignin, an indigestible skeletal substance which provides upward growth, and instead produce digestible nutrients such as proteins and carbohydrates. A study of insects in flight was also done on STS-3. Commander Lausma prepared to examine the effects of weightlessness on some bees, moths, and flies, while on the ground, the principal investigator, high school student Todd Nelson from Rose Creek, Minnesota, did the same. Todd, who designed and developed the experiment himself, was one of 10 finalists in the National Space Shuttle Student Involvement Project, a joint venture of NASA and the National Science Teachers Association. His experiment flew on STS-3. The other finalists' experiments will fly on later flights. The purpose of Todd's study was to compare the natural flight characteristics of 3 species with their behavior in zero gravity. The insects were chosen primarily because of their different wing sizes. Todd wanted to find out if that factor would affect their flight behavior in zero gravity. After recording his findings in the Earth's gravity, he watched the cruise report from space.
Okay, hello there, space fans. Here we are in the good ship Columbia, speeding over the United States at 150 miles, flying pretty fast, about 5 miles per second, but there are some among us who are actually flying faster than we are. And in this box, they're not only flying along with us, but they are flying themselves, so they're actually going a lot faster than we, I think. Most of them have positioned themselves around the periphery of the box or fastened themselves onto something, and unless we agitate them a little bit and make them get going. Now, it seems like the moths are doing a little better than the bees. The bees are just sort of tumbling around without flapping their wings. But the moths, every once in a while, you can see that one flying right there. He seems to have adapted to some degree to zero gravity. And there are a few bees like this one here. He's just floating around. He's taking the easy way out like Gordo is now. You don't see Gordo flapping his wings in zero G.
Todd gathered much data from his experiment, and with the aid of his sponsor, the Avionics Division of Honeywell Incorporated, will report the findings in a paper to the National Science Teachers Association. The electrophoresis experiment verification test checked out the prototype of a more elaborate manufacturing device, which will be flown later on. The device separated chemical agents in fluids.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and good afternoon, space fans. I'd like to tell you what we're doing here in the space This one I have right here is called an electrophoresis experiment. It simply is a electrical way to separate out various chemical agents that cannot be separated out very easily on the ground. And it's a very expensive process. However, in zero G, these chemical agents can be separated out and used for various pharmaceutical and other medical purposes. But basically what we have here is a tube and process. It's inside of this container. The tube is just like this, and it has a fluid inside, which is actually a carrier for the agent which is being separated out. We have a sample that we use to place right in this slot in here, and the sample is contained in a freezer. Inside of this freezer are several small samples which are used in this electrophoresis experiment. And then once the experiment is processed and the various chemical agents are allowed to move along this tube and are separated out, when the process is completed in about an hour, then the whole sample is frozen and it is then taken and placed back in this cryo freezer for analysis back on the ground. But this is the forerunner of a pharmaceutical experiment, and I think that this will be one of the major experiments and one of the major industrial uses of space in the future is in the area of pharmaceuticals, and this is just a forerunner of one, and it looks like it's working very well, and we'll have very promising results. So we're glad to have you with us today, and we hope that you will keep following the flight of the Columbia as we go on for the next week. Here comes the studio TV technician down to put in a brief appearance here. Sally?
Is that the vampire that goes with the red blood cells?
Something like that.
In some of the most important tests of the mission, thermal soaks of Columbia, the vehicle was maneuvered into an attitude relative to the sun, which exposed the structure to either extremely hot or extremely cold temperatures. Mission controllers determined the effect of the soaks on the vehicle and its systems by monitoring the readings of temperature-sensitive instrumentation located at various places on the orbiter structure. They also devised a simple way to display the attitude of Columbia in relation to the sun using a device called the thermodillo, so named because the object representing the orbiter is a popular animal in Texas, the armadillo. The position of the armadillo represented the attitude of the vehicle, and the flag reported its thermal status. The bottom part of the device, called the consumadillo, showed the status of consumables throughout the flight. After maintaining attitude for an extended period of time, the payload bay doors warped temporarily, which was expected because of the extreme temperatures encountered. To measure the exact amount of warpage, the doors were put in the closed position. And the amount of gap, or overlap, was measured by the crew using a theodolite instrument. Then the doors were reopened for the next thermal test. The astronauts reported much less warpage than was predicted by pre-flight engineering studies. Good news to flight planners and commercial users for future shuttle flights. Special measures will not need to be taken to cool down or warm up the doors before they can be closed. Although the astronauts had little appetite and difficulty sleeping their first 2 days in space, they gradually adjusted to the weightless environment. Klausma suffered motion sickness, and Fullerton experienced loss of appetite, a side effect of the motion sickness pill he took pre-flight. The flight surgeon prescribed food and sleep, and mission planners scheduled a less strenuous workload for flight day 3 so that the astronauts could recuperate. The first zero-gravity treadmill was used on STS-3. It was designed by astronaut William Thornton to simulate running in an Earth gravity. Since the muscles do not have to work as hard in zero gravity, regular exercise must be maintained. For their welcome home, the crew wanted to look their best. With only one personal hygiene area on board, Jack and Gordon had to take turns. In fact, because of the limited storage space on board, the crew shared almost everything with each other. Back on Earth, winds were beginning to pick up at Northrop Strip. John Young, commander on STS-1, simulated the same approach to runway 23 that the astronauts might be attempting very shortly. Young reported to Mission Control.
There's about 2 miles of visibility on runway 17 and one runway 23 is covered up in sand. I think we ought to knock this off, over.
Okay, we got you, John. We copy and concur.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys.
Not your fault.
The wind was gusting over 50 knots. And deorbit burn, to put Columbia in the correct attitude for entry into Earth's atmosphere, was only 40 minutes away.
Columbia, Houston, through Ascension, over.
Here you have clear, Steve. How many?
Roger, I got you 5 by. Jack, we talked to the STA again between Bermuda and Ascension, and as you could probably surmise, the winds have been coming up all day. It was still acceptable until his last pass, but during John's last pass, the visibilities were unacceptable and the turbulence was severe, so it's not a good day, and we're going to wave off for 24 hours, over.
Okay. We've had a good drill.
The good drill showed once again the flexibility of the space transportation system. Flight controllers altered the flight plan just minutes before committing to entry. Columbia had enough fuel and other critical supplies to last at least 24 more hours. In fact, 72 more hours if necessary. Klausma and Fullerton went to bed early that night, fastening themselves to restraints behind their ejection seats, a favorite place to sleep during the mission. Tomorrow, they would attempt to land at Northrop Strip earlier in the day, before the winds began to gust.
Houston, Columbia.
Roger, go ahead, Gordo.
Okay, we're looking straight down at Northrop. It looks a lot better today than it did yesterday.
And it is a lot better there, Gordo.
And what kind of a turn are you betting on for 2-3 at this point, Steve?
Okay, Jack, first of all, you are go for the deorbit burn, and the winds right now are favoring runway 17 with a right turn.
Okay, we're going to select that runway 17, item 4 with right-hand turn.
Okay, that sounds good. Columbia, Houston, through Buckhorn, configure AOS.
Okay, we're reading you loud and clear. We got the PTI so far, and take a look at our ground tracking now, please.
Roger, energy and ground track are good, and nav is great, Jack.
That's good news, Steve. Thank you. This is really a beautiful flying machine.
Columbia, Houston, have an update on winds and weather when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Roger, a high scattered cirrus deck over the field. Surface winds 180 at 11, altimeter 3003. Over.
Okay, I got them.
Columbia, Houston, show you intersecting the hack now, passing 26,000. Looks good. Columbia, Houston, winds 190 at 14.
Waiting for you to go.
Columbia, Houston, go for auto to enter glide slope.
Okay, we're in auto, Houston.
Roger.
Bring flare, Houston.
Roger.
Gear coming. Gear down. 20. 10, 5, 4, that's down. Nose gears. 10. Nose gears 5, 4, 3, 3. Touchdown. Bienvenidos, amigos.
STS-3 was the most successful mission of the flight test program so far. 4 months before liftoff, the launch date of March 22nd, 1982 was established. And on that date, Columbia was launched. Mission planners were able to exchange Day 4 for Day 3. And Columbia showed its capacity to remain on orbit longer than planned.
Okay, wheels are staffed, Houston.
Okay, Columbia, welcome home. That was a beautiful job.
The space shuttle has brought us closer to something else. After his return from space, Commander Jack Lausma said it best.
I think we rekindled that patriotic spirit that has been lingering in the background, that has wanted to come to the surface. And I think that the space shuttle has caused that, in a sense, to happen. And I think the space shuttle is great for that reason. The whole transportation system is something that is good about America. People are beginning to realize it and be proud of it.
STS-3 has clearly demonstrated the versatility and flexibility of the space transportation system. It has brought us one step closer to the beginning of a new era, routine operational spaceflight.
All right, dudes, let's get to it, shall we? All right. I could listen to that noise all day, but we that F1 race went a little bit far. So let's jump into space news and we'll go from there. I'm gonna hit you with this. Headphone users, you've been warned. Headphone users, once again, headphone users for the third time. Here you go.
4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Are they making glass? A little bit. The BE4, dudes. This is full duration, baby. About the same, RJ, believe it or not. It's methane, guys. Oxygen-rich stage combustion cycle. You guys can't hear me, can you? It's an oxygen-rich stage combustion cycle methyl ox motor. Scraping off to the bedrock there. There are a few times where sound is actually visualized, how sound propagates through things. Look at the water. Wow. Guess it was good enough to do this. Did that just get louder?
Hearing well purge.
Alright. Lycan, what did you want me to see? That was pretty cool. Full duration BE4 test. That was coming from Tori Bruno there. There are a couple of things I wanted to point out in this video. If Lycan, what... Roundabout. Roundabouts generally don't have medians in them, and traffic goes one way. The reason why you have so many traffic problems is because this is a 2-lane, 2-way boulevard. Switch it to a 4-lane, 1-way, and it should fix your problems. Yeah. Yeah, you generally don't want traffic going this way on the inner circle, going clockwise on the inner circle and counterclockwise on the outer circle. That's not how you roundabout. Yeah, that should fix most of your problems. Switch those to 2-lane, 2-way highway or something. Or 4-lane, 1-way or something. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, so... This was a full duration BE4. BE4 is Vulcan's engines. And Tori Bruno posted this. So I know there's a couple of things that people are going to ask questions about. What the heck is all this? LOX purge line. It's a LOX purge line for the plumbing, for the test stand. The reason I know is because there's a methane purge line here. There's a purge flame over there. Purge flame is going into that tank. That's a gaseous methane accumulator tank. I think that's how that works. It's taking the tap off. I think it might be tapping off from there, but I'm not 100% sure. So there's a couple of other things that I noticed with this. Let's see if we can get a nice close-up shot. There we go. This is actually a 2-cell test chamber. There's a test chamber over there as well. See, there's 2 of them. You can tell because of the gantry crane. Yeah, that's an upgraded test stand right there. This is a twin-cell rocket engine test stand. Pretty cool. It's a concrete berm. It's concrete over dirt. Pretty cool. It doesn't look like that test stand has been used, but it looks like that test stand is a newer design because the gantry crane's longer and the test stand's slightly bigger, if I had to guess. Either that or it's an older one. I'm not 100% on that one. That's a 2-cell test stand for sure, though. Another couple of things to notice here, fellas, is that you have your methane, or your methane's over, no, methane would be over here, and then an oxidizer tank right there. Interesting thing to note, there's additional methane tanks here, and there's additional oxidizer tanks there. Which means that they've been gradually ramping up and burning more and more and more. There's nitrogen tanks right there, and then there's additional nitrogen tanks behind it. See, the newer tanks are like manila or tan or beige or whatever, which is interesting. What else can I see here? It looks like there might be a small engine test stand over there as well. It wanted to blend in. Yep, there's more LOX tanks over there. And yeah, this is a twin cell test stand. Very interesting. Yeah, there's a small engine test stand over there. I'm interested to see what that is. Well, we're probably never gonna know, to be honest with you. But yeah, looks really good. In terms of the engine, engine looks nice and healthy. This is an oxygen-rich stage combustion. So it's not full flow, so you're not going to get the clearest of flames, but they're going to be pretty damn close. Blue flame here indicates that, yeah, it's pretty damn efficient. But we are running oxidizer-rich, so even with an oxidizer-rich stage combustion, there still is going to be some carbon coming out of the back of this thing. RCS testing area goalie? Yeah, maybe. What engine are they testing? That's BE4. BE4 is Vulcan's first stage engine. You watch Hurricane. Yeah, man. What? What Hurricane? Yeah, so that's a full duration burn from coming from Torrey Bruno. That's really, really awesome. All right, let's see what we got here. So, Farmer Bob Hines took a picture. Holy Nikes. Ah. Yeah. It looks like you can just see the northern parts of Tampa right there. Yeah. Yeah, I can look say. Yeah, I know. Yep. Well, Florida's right there. This is going south. So the ISS was on a descending node over KSC. So if I'm looking at the terrain and the position of the hurricane correctly, Cuba should be right here. The Cape is over there somewhere. If I'm looking at that correctly, I could be wrong. I don't know. Gotta match up that coastline. Let's see. Let's see if we can see where they are. Did you see the empty Tampa Bay? The water's being sucked out. No, I haven't. That's the Panhandle? I don't think that's the Panhandle, dude. The track of the hurricane doesn't make sense otherwise. That looks like Cuba over there. That means I think the hurricane is going this way. I think this is Florida's west coast, but I have to find it. I have to find the... Oh, yeah, you might be right. Nope, you're absolutely right. I'm wrong. Yeah, but yeah, you're correct. If you guys said Panhandle, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's Panama City. That's Panama City. Holy crap, that thing is big. I've seen the Kermit aircraft footage, Limprod. Man. That's the Panhandle, which means Florida is somewhere over here. That means that off in the distance over there in this picture, that's the Everglades. And then Miami would be right there, which means the Cape is right over here somewhere. Tampa's getting absolutely railed on, man. Unbelievable. That's Bermuda? Bermuda's over there. It's the top of the Bahamas? Maybe. Yeah, Sirius, you might be right. Let's see if we can match it again. I mean, it does look like that. But the Bahamas would be way over there. I don't know, man. It looks like the Everglades to me. Ah, yes. Everglades City. I too like my cities to be in the middle of nowhere. I've been joining the odd sounds from my shutters here in Bradenton. I'm glad I still have power. Yeah, be safe, dude. I mean, once again, everybody's saying be safe like Florida's never been hit with a hurricane before. I know you guys know what you're doing. Just don't be an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, you know that, but Also, I would feel bad if I didn't say something. I'm so glad in my country a hurricane can't happen. Yeah, you know what I've kind of noticed, that a lot of Europeans are kind of invested in this. A lot of you Euro guys are noticing this thing because, you know, because of SLS and stuff. Yeah, this happens all the time, dudes. Oh, yeah. Every fall. Every fall. It happens all the time. Late summer, fall, yeah. It happens a lot. Seems Naples has more floating houses now. I lived in Northport and Port Charlotte, Florida. Graduated from Venice High School. How'd you become a Yankees fan? Ew. So, yeah. Florida deals with this all the time. They, you know, don't get me wrong, it's nothing that should be taken lightly. That thing is a chonker of Mother Nature. A Mother Nature chungus. Mother chungus. Were there any hurricanes that had to push back shuttle missions? Happens all the time, dude. Yeah, it happened all the time. I say happens like it's still a thing. Oh. Oh. On Doppler images, it looks like the south part of the eye wall is starting to break up. It'll happen when it goes over land. Deadbringer, when it goes over land, it'll start to lose coherency. If it takes a left and goes right up the coast, or right up the spine of Florida, I guess, it'll just peter out. What would really suck is if it went out here and got back into the water and then came back in. That does happen. Yeah, that's no good. Jeez. I can't believe that. Let's try to get the same picture. Let's see if we can... Oh, so the ISS was on the ascending track here in this picture. Damn. Damn. So yeah, at the top of the screen, I think that's the Everglades over here. It's just a wide angle lens. Either that or they're, you know, if we back it out a little bit. We have to make sure I set eye altitude to 270 miles. That's about where the ISS is, give or take. Damn. Damn. You live close to Ian? No, no. The hurricane is right here. I live up here. No, not even close. It's like 1,600 kilometers away, dude. Yeah, see, I'm a long way away. It's a big country, dude. Big country. Oh, that's cool, Canteb. You're scared. Yeah, guys, this happens all the time, dude. Here's a time lapse of the storm surge. Oh boy. Watch. Water incoming. Yep. Oh. Now is now is when I would like to remind everybody that every new piece of like the building codes in Florida, every new piece of construction has to be Category 4 certed. Yeah, just putting it out there. That's That's a pretty big storm surge. Somebody said they had a picture of Tampa Bay draining. Saltwater? Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, coming from the Gulf of Mexico. Storm surge is so powerful that it brought a shark into the city streets. That's a shark. Wait. Does that mean it's a sharknado? It's a sharkicane. There were tornadoes. Yeah, I saw the airport. Yeah. Yeah, the airport where the planes looks like some people didn't tie down their aircraft. Oops. There was a tornado in your city overnight. Jeez. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see this real quick.
Like that, they're like underneath the roofing, maybe in the roof. Just came flying by.
Oh! Look out!
You know what? I think I'm just gonna come in here for a second.
Street man, what are you, nuts? Jim, what are you doing? Jim, get off the street!
Jim, you alright? I'm alright, I'm fine. I'm fine. You just can't stand up. Alright.
I would like to point out that if there was a role for Jim Cantore when it comes to like rocket launches, I'd do it. Yeah, and we're about 100 feet away. There it goes, yeah. Like, I'd do that. Yeah, I'd absolutely do that. Yep. That was Jim Cantore, yeah. Yep. Tree almost took him out, dude. The city of... Okay, this is coming from the Naples PD. What do we got here? City of Naples has issued an emergency citywide curfew to protect and safeguard the health, safety, and welfare. Yeah. Shelter in place. Absolutely. That's the right call. Yeah. You want to shelter in place for something like this. Because if somebody is stupid and tries to go out, you know, and they get stranded, then you have to go and get them. Then firefighters and policemen and emergency responders, which are going to be needed after the hurricane goes by, you're putting them at risk. Jim is a legend. Check out the Waffle House Index. Nice. But yeah, you got to stay put. That's why shelter in place is got to do that. But man, crazy footage. And then there's another picture here from user Chris Barberi. The water got straight up sucked out of Tampa. What the? Stay safe. Don't go out in the storm. Most cities have said they can't send responders while winds are above 45 miles an hour. Literally blow the fire truck over. Waffle House actually closed, so it's pretty intense. Waffle House Index is red in many places in Florida. You that dude. Where's the water? The hurricane pulled it, Ilya. My neighbor in Florida just sent this video of a man out jet skiing. I mean, dude, now's the time to go surfing if you're experienced enough. But Jesus, please don't do that. Please don't do that if you don't know what you're doing. Jeez. Anyway, that's crazy. So, this is coming from Farmer here, so he's one of the astronauts on Crew 4 that's up there right now, up on the ISS. SLS is safe inside of the hangar. If we want to get a live view, we could check NSF with their new Space Coast live camera. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. That's the boat ramp at Port St. John. The Cape is in that somewhere, taken from PSG Facebook. Yikes. Is Ian similar to Irma? Yeah. Bullshit. Yeah. 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 What's the bottom left shot? That's the turning basin. You're looking at 39A here. There's the Starship Tower. There's the 39A FSS. This camera's 90 degrees to the left of that camera. That's looking at the firing rooms. And the VAB. You're looking at High Bay 1 and High Bay 3 right there. High Bay 2 is right there. This is press site looking south. So this is looking towards like Slick 40. And then that is Fleet Cam at Port Canaveral. This is looking out. No, negative. This camera's looking west. This camera's looking west. You're looking at the Port Canaveral locks over there. See the little bridge? That's SR 401, and that's the parking garage for the cruise terminal. Kennedy Space Center gets damaged by Ian's, you'll get really mad. Yep. Yeah, some of those clouds are starting to get real dark. Has EJ explained the Waffle House index? No, but long story short, if Waffle House is closed, you got a problem. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. Forge, that's nuts. This doesn't look too bad here. I mean, the thing is that this camera's about 15 miles south of these other cameras here. These three are at the KSC press site. This one is at Port Canaveral. So, so the KSC press site is right here. You see the building with the NASA logo on it? Right there. There it is. And then, so you have one camera that's facing south, one camera that's facing east, and one camera that's facing north. Towards the VAB. Now, if you back out a little ways, the other camera is down here. It's at Port Canaveral. And that camera is looking that way. It's looking that way at SR 401, which is that road right there. The Port Canaveral locks are right there, and then there's the parking garage. See? Looks like the East Coast might get a re-strengthening Ian. Yeah, guys, if this thing crosses... If it crosses from the Gulf of Mexico over to the Atlantic Ocean, that's not good for South Carolina. That's very not good for South Carolina. That's bad. If the hurricane gets back out over water, it's going to strengthen again. So when do they static test fire all 33 engines? Which screen are you going to replace that with? This one. Here. So... Fellas, the next time somebody says, oh, just on a side note, you know, and I figure it pertinent to answer this. The next time somebody says, oh, man, what all those satellites that NASA launched, what do they do? What do they do? They do nothing. No, they do that. That's really important. I don't think I need to say why. Oh, man, that went right over Fort Myers. Jeez. Yeah, that land that we saw was the Bahamas. Yeah, absolutely. After Hurricane SLS launch? Yeah, it should be okay. It's going to make it over the Atlantic. Well, if I'm understanding this correctly, Tessa, and keep in mind my meteorology is lacking, there's a front up here. There's a warm front that's coming down this way, and you can kind of see where that warm front is. It's like right here. And that warm front is going to keep Ian down there. So it's either going to curve and go this way, or it's just going to kind of chill here for a second and slow down. Yeah. I don't think I said that exactly right, but there's, long story short, there's a, I think it's a warm front up here, and that warm front is keeping the hurricane south. Or they, at least they think it's going to do that. I don't know. Too bad Tropics is 500. Oh, I get it. I sure hope that storm doesn't slow down much more. The rainfall has been straight ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Cuba? Cuba's down here. Okay, but does SLS crew have access to their waffle to fuel them in their SLS launch endeavors? Sure. Where's Sarasota? Fellas, I'm blanking on it. Yeah, Havana and this part of Cuba got railed on. Yeah, Sarasota's near Fort Myers. Yeah, Zizep, like right where the eye is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's aiming right for Full Sail. Yeah, this thing is basically going right up the I-4 corridor, which kind of sucks. Sarasota is like right. It's like, yeah, right. It's right. Well, Fort Myers is down here. Tampa's up there. Bradenton is right there. Clearwater is right there on the north side. Something happened in 1994. The Sarasota is the eye. Here, let's just load up. Whoop. Coffee and waffle sounds like good fuel to me. Ugh, now I'm hungry. Damn you. Yeah, there's Fort Myers, Port Charlotte, Sarasota. Yeah, Sarasota's up here. It's near Bradenton. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I never really realized how big of a motherfricker Tampa is. Tampa's a pretty big city. I mean, I know it's St. Pete. I know it's St. Pete. I know. I'm talking about the whole area. Like, that's a pretty big mother trucker right there. It is indeed the biggest of Chunguses. Yeah, that's a pretty big boy. They evacuated almost that entire peninsula where St. Petersburg is due to storm surge. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah. Man, that's a big boy. This thing escalated quickly. I mean, that thing... Yeah, Bro Handy, I saw it on the local news that cops are going around and just be like, dude, don't be dumb. Just get out of here. Rick killed a guy. I LiDAR scanned all of Tampa and Orlando for fiber services. It's big. Oh, no way, Maverick. There you go. Yeah, it was Cat 2 right here. It hit Cat 4 here, and then it's going to go to Cat 1 by the time it gets to Orlando. But damn, look at those bands. Yikes. So, fellas, the more defined... I know a little bit about hurricanes. I'm not an expert by any means. But the more defined it is, the deadlier it is. It won't hit you, will it? Oh, Alleviate, I don't even live close to here. No. The hurricane's down here, and it's going to go this way, and then it might go this way, or it might go that way. I'm way up here. About 1,100 miles away. Like way up there. It will, dude, we'll eventually get it. We eventually get it, but it usually just... Now, I don't want to jinx myself. We do get hurricanes up here. That does happen. This one, the hurricanes that come up here usually don't follow a track like this. The hurricanes that come up here usually go this way. Ian went in here and then went up there, right? The hurricanes that follow us usually miss Florida, that hit us usually miss Florida, and then they either go to Bermuda over here, or they go in at North Carolina. Hurricane Sandy hit New York in 2018. That was fun. Not. And then sometimes a hurricane will come right up and hit Cape Cod. It has happened. Yeah, that's happened before. We're kind of sticking out a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Was it 2018? No. Why did I say 2018? No, it was like 2012. Yeah, 2012. Yeah, I'm 2018. Which one was 2018? Harvey, maybe? No. I was still in school then. Yeah. So sometimes they do come up here, Alleviate. They do. Sometimes they hit Canada. Sometimes they make it all the way to you guys. It's very unlikely because of the colder water, but yeah, they do. Sandy sucked. Yeah. Like we're woefully unprepared for hurricanes up here. We're not really prepared for that. Is it working up there since you knocked? Yeah. 2018 was Michael and Florence. I don't know why I said 2018, but yeah, no, you guys are right. It's 2012. Sorry, thinking about something else. They're post-tropical when they hit Western Europe. Still can be pretty strong, though. By the time it gets up to us, Cantab, it's usually just heavy rain. Or it hits us direct center. That has happened before. Not any time in recent memory, though. But, yeah, not to jinx it. Ian is going out over the Cape. So Ian's kind of going this way right here. How can they be this stupid? I don't know, man. Yeah. Yeah, those people are... Those guys are going into the rip current. Boca Chica's in Texas, right? Yep. Ilya, have I ever seen a hurricane? Never lived through a hurricane, lived through a pretty big tropical storm. I used to live in Florida. I went to university here in Orlando, so I've seen tropical storms. They're pretty wild. It is cool to see, but I don't really like living through them. A sacrifice to Neptune. Well, okay, so people, you might be wondering, why is that dangerous? Well, actually, you know what? Before I say this, I'm going to ask. Do you guys have rip currents down there? We have rip currents up here. If the surf gets big like that, unless you really know what you're doing, stay out of there. Because what happens is the wave crashes over, and the wave gets really, really big, really, really fast, and then it pulls everything back out really, 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 really quickly. It's called a rip current. Rip currents literally pull you down to the ocean floor and then pull you backwards. Yeah, we have rip currents up here that you really don't go in the water if there's rip currents unless you really know what you're doing. Yeah, the rip currents will give you the undertow. It'll literally pull you underwater, and you will stay there until the wave is gone. Yeah, most people don't do that. Yeah, yeah, T-Man, I've seen it. Yeah. The first comment on that tweet is from Dutch Space. What is he saying? Oh, I don't see it. Oops, here it is. Yeah, yeah, there you go. There it is. Yeah, see? See, see it, look, it pulls you right back out. Bad. That's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't. Swim diagonal to the beach in the rip after you get back up to the air, that is. There you go, Troptics, yeah. Yeah, so that's why those guys are, like, extra dumb. Like, that's a 6-foot storm surge. Like, easily a 6-foot storm surge. And you're jumping into it. Yeah, Brendan, when I was in the Coast Guard, I spent 40 hours on the helm, station keeping in a hurricane in 60-foot seas, towing a scallop boat on a 180-foot buoy tender. Green water over the bow, 36 plus hours. Dude. So, Dev, my question to you is that, how well did you sleep after that? Tending the helm of a ship for 36 hours? You animal. Wombat, hey. Come on now. Come on now. But yeah, SLS is over here for the people that don't know. It's over here. So they are getting a little bit of rain, but see, the northern band on this is way bigger than the southern band. So it's carrying a lot more rain this way. But like I said, this is why when we looked at the Cape, it's nice and clear. See that? Because it's in that kind of, in between those two bands right now. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. Yeah, there's a reason why you don't go swimming in the bay. There's also a reason why they put Alcatraz where they put it. Am I right? Am I right? Yeah. Go ahead, try to swim. Sure. Try to swim. Go ahead. Have fun with that. Odds the eye passes over KSC. Yeah, it's gonna get close. Oh, once we were done towing the boat, we had to fix all the aids to navigation pulled off by the hurricane. Dude, I bet, man, yeah. I still want to bet that the boat escapees make it. The tidal forces in the channel of San Francisco Bay are pretty gnarly, dude. SLS did roll back, Mike. It's right. SLS is right at the point of the mouse cursor right here. It is sitting inside of the VAB. There's a live shot of the VAB if you wanted to see it. It's actually pretty calm right now at KSC because once again they're kind of between two bands right now. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oceanside. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. People have already linked this, but. Yeah, that is a mother trucker of a storm right there. Look, dude. You know what? Any meteorologists here? How secure is the VAB from a large building? It's got to deal with a lot of force from hurricanes. Blowout panels. But VAB has blowout panels. If the pressure gets too hot, if the dynamic pressure, seriously, that's what it is. If the dynamic pressure on one side of the VAB gets too much, the panels on the outside of the VAB will fall off. It was designed that way on purpose. So, anybody ever watch the Mythbusters where they prove that if you open the windows during a hurricane, your house is more likely to survive? Literally that. It's designed to blow out panels. That the VAB is very cavernous, so air can go right through it if it blows the panels out. And that's blowout candles. I mean, there's also that. Weather guy, are you here, buddy? Yeah, the VAB is designed for this kind of stuff, dudes. Yeah. It can withstand, I think it's up to a category 3. And Ian, now that it's up on the land, hurricanes need warm water to sustain themselves. Without warm water, it doesn't work. They don't intensify. They actually de-intensify. Once again, my meteorological terms are not up to snuff. Not very good at this. I know that once it gets over land, because I lived in Florida, it's going to really, really summit down there. Has a VAB ever had a moon rocket inside of it when a hurricane came through? Yeah. Well, moon rocket? I don't know about a moon rocket. Shuttle, though. Yeah, absolutely. I know about the perfect storm, Hellfish. Not because I remember it. I saw the movie. Do you mean straight fall off or open up like some windows where the bottom pops out? No, they're blowout panels, RB. I don't know if you guys are familiar with blowout panels. So up here on the Cape, a lot of buildings have blowout panels. Basically, they make the foundation of the building, and the floor of the foundation is basically at ground level. And then there are a bunch of steel panels in the concrete foundation. The concrete looks like a box, right? But in the concrete foundation on buildings, literally just sitting on the ground, because you can't go down when you're close to the water like that. The same problem as Florida, right? So RB, what blowout panels out here are designed to do is that if it floods, instead of trying to take the building with it, the panels will blow out and the water will trickle out. Now, the VAB has the aerodynamic version of that. If the dynamic pressure on the building gets too high, it'll blow the panels off. The panels will just pop off. They'll shear off. They don't like open like a vent system or whatever. No, they'll just pop off. And then air will just go through the VAB. It'll go through the transfer aisle, and it'll blow out the panels on the other side. It's designed for that, fellas. It allows the water to pass through instead of toppling the building, instead of building up hydraulic pressure on one side of the building, Matt. Exactly. Now with water, it's hydraulic pressure. With the VAB, it's dynamic pneumatic pressure, actually, if you really want to be technical. So where are those blowout panels? Right there. The windows that let in the light in the VAB, those are the blowout panels. And those things, and some of these panels could pop off. And if they do, it'll pop them off on the other side of the transfer aisle, and wind will just blow through the VAB. That's what happens. Don't ask me how I know this. I don't remember where I read that. I just know that works. And if you Google VAB hurricane damage, you'll see the panels blow out. See? That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to do that. That is exactly what you want. You do not want this thing to withstand the hurricane. Because if you do, instead of dynamic pressure building up on the vehicle, the dynamic pressure will impart force on it instead of blowing the panels out. The panels are there to alleviate that force. Yeah, there you go. Here's another good picture. Thanks, Forge. See? Yep. That's what they're supposed to do. They are supposed to just pop out. If the pressure builds up too much on one side, they just kind of open. Yeah, Vanguard. Yeah, right. See? This alleviated the pressure. This is a relief valve. And it allows the pressure to build up inside of the VAB. And if pressure builds up inside of the VAB, it'll pop the panels on the other side of the transfer aisle off. That's entirely on purpose. These ones over here, debris strikes. Those are the blowout panels. They did exactly as they intended. Note that most of it's down here. Why? Well, if wind is blowing here and it goes over the checkout area of the VAB, right? And it pushes up against this wall, it has no place to go. There's no place to go. It's not going to go down. It's going to go to the sides, but it can't because the wind gust comes at you. Wind gust is big laminar flow coming at it, right? So there's no place for it to go, so it blew out those panels. Those panels, if you put the VAB into a CFD, that's where the highest pressure would be. Does that make sense? When they built this, they were smart. They knew that. That's why that's there. And if they didn't do that, the VAB would collapse. I don't think it would collapse, but it would be more, there would be more damage. Tomas, yeah. If those panels didn't blow out, whatever's there has to be strong enough to be able to withstand straight force coming from the side, shear force. Yeah. Instead of working against the force, just work with it. That's engineering in a nutshell. You'd need like a concrete wall right here to pop that off, but you don't want a concrete wall right here. That would be, why would you do that? Just put blowout panels on it. That's just good design. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would, yeah, I don't think it would collapse the VAB. No. The VAB is, it's cavernous on purpose, guys. If you look at the inside of the VAB, it looks just like a naked skyscraper. Right? If you look at the 4 high bays inside of it, there's just a lot of stuff that you can see through. That's on purpose. So if the pressure does build up in there, it just blows through things. It doesn't blow anything away. NASA is one with the dynamic pressure. Yep. Yep. That's what it's designed to do. So basically, KSC is on an emergency evac right now. So what they're doing is there's, I forget what it's called, emergency something force or whatever. They literally just leave a skeleton crew there. That's what NASA does with their facilities. They leave a skeleton crew there to basically maintain the systems, make sure that the power systems and a couple of other things are working. That's it. There's a skeleton crew of guys. The ride-out crew, yeah. How much is it to repair the panels? Not too much. No, not even a couple mil, Tony. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not too bad. Comparatively to the thing falling over, you know what I'm saying? These ride-out crews, or these skeleton crews, are literally what saved Michoud in 2005. In 2005, when Hurricane Katrina hit, at the time where the Space Shuttle external tanks were manufactured, actually, those test articles got destroyed in some hurricane recently. I forget which one it is. But if you look, Michoud is surrounded by levees. See that? It's surrounded by a gigantic levee. So if water does start coming up here, it'll literally flow just around the facility and it'll flood in front of it. You guys remember the cities map where I have the tsunami defense system? Literally that. It's literally that. They have a big open area out in front that can flood just in case water goes over the levee, and then they have a pumping system. They have a pumping system that pumps it out just in case. The ride-out crew literally saved Michoud in 2005 during Hurricane Katrina, or we would have lost the external tank manufacturing facility. Yeah, it was close. The pumps broke. The levees here actually work just fine, but the pumps broke, and they sent guys out in the middle of a hurricane to get the pumps back up and running. Yeah. Same in cities, drainage is important. Yep. Standing water is serious. Exactly. Yep. They literally put a floodplain in front of it. Hang on, isn't this where some plane landed? Yes, a 737 landed on this levee in an emergency landing because they couldn't make the airport. They couldn't make Louis Armstrong, which is over there. Yep. Yeah, those guys single-handedly saved the shuttle program. Because you got to remember, 2005, the shuttle program was re-ramping up post-Columbia, and they were ramping up to finish the freaking ISS. So yeah, the guys, the ride-out crew there that got the pumps back up and running, they should make a movie about that because, yeah, they saved the ISS and the shuttle program. Yep, these are all Space Shuttle program test articles. I think that's ET-94. I think that's the one in California. But these test articles got destroyed in a hurricane. It was this one I know was either 2017 or 2018. I forget which one it was. This is kind of scary. Oh, looks like you got some water spout action there, huh? Florida. 2 closest Waffle Houses to KFC are still open. I called. What? Yeah, but I'll read what you said in a second. I want waffles now, damn it. Yeah, but yeah, so I worked at Blockbuster Video back when Charlie hit in 2004. We were expected to come work in a hurricane. Turns out when nobody has power, TV, internet, that they love to rent DVDs. We had double the sales for 3 weeks after it hit. It's interesting. Huh. Yep, that's Florida. This happens. Guys, you know what the messed up part is? Floridians, back me up. That actually isn't too bad. I know it looks ridiculous to us, but that's actually not the worst storm surge I've seen in Florida. I've seen tropical storms dump rain like this before. Yeah, this is actually not too bad. The palm trees may have lost all their palms, but they're still standing. It's bad when the palm trees are not standing anymore. This is not too bad. If the palm trees start getting ripped out of their roots, then you got a big problem. That was my rule of thumb when I was in Florida. California, fuck that. Yeah, they probably say the same thing to you in earthquakes. At least they can see hurricanes coming in, man. Damn. Like, is it bad? Like, would you take a hurricane or an earthquake? I want the hurricane. I want to see it coming. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't need earthquakes, man. I don't need earthquakes, my dude. I'll take the hurricane. I didn't mind earthquakes as much. There's no anxiety. Yeah. The earth shouldn't be moving. It's moving right now. FEMA uses a Waffle House measure to determine the level of impact from disasters in area down south. Yeah. Of course. Hurricanes are much scarier. You can see them coming. I guess I never thought about it that way. Or just live in the UK where we freak out when we get 1 inch of snow. Dude, that's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Nutso. I trucked in supplies right after Katrina. It's bad when bridges are missing pieces. We'll have to see tomorrow how bad it was. Yeah, fortunately, in the 30s, they figured out that, it'd be better to make bridges aerodynamic, and bridges are actually aerodynamic. Yeah, they're actually aerodynamic. Bridges are designed to create not low pressure underneath them, but they're designed to deflect the air in a way that doesn't rip them apart. This camera was placed 6 feet high. Oh dear. Yep. I've been in SoCal for 4 years, and the biggest earthquake just made our door harder to open. I'll take that over hurricanes every day, any day. The Pontchartrain Causeway got hit by barges. Yeah. That's scary, man. So it doesn't Tacoma Narrows itself? Amongst other things, winner. Yeah. Yeah, amongst other things. If the bridge hits a resonant frequency, if you hit a resonant frequency on the bridge, it will just shatter like glass. Yeah. That happened in the Loma Prieta earthquake in 1989. The Bay Bridge hit a resonant frequency and just literally collapsed. Like, there were just certain sections that didn't like that vibration and just... I mean, yeah, if you're from the Bay, you know what I'm talking about. There's that famous picture of the top decker of the part of that Bay Bridge just tilted down like that. Yeah. Resonant frequencies are scary, man. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge, yeah. The Tacoma Narrows ended up turning into a gigantic tuning fork. And then then eventually it resonated so much it hit the right frequency to just shatter the entire bridge. Here's an interesting theory about a primary volcanoes. Here's an interesting theory about a primary contributor to volcanoes and earthquakes being seawater making its way to the mantle with plates. That makes a quake just a seismic level fart. Can we call it the unideal gas law? No. Did you see Tampa? I've been seeing a lot of pictures, man. Yeah. Yeah. The storm surge is... That's weird, dude. Sharknado is trending, as is tradition. It almost looks like the start of a tsunami. That's crazy. I mean, hurricanes... That's not Oldsmar. I grew up in Oldsmar. Huh? Will the water be back? Oh yeah, it'll be back, and in greater numbers. What's that, goalie? Yeah. Yep. We walked under the Bayside Bridge back in 04 when that happened. Wow. That's very strange. Anyway, here's more live shots of the Cape right now. This is, I'm first and foremost worried about the people, but, I hope everybody stays safe. But also, I really need that building to not get damaged. Yeah, we really need this thing to not get damaged. Not necessarily here, or here so much, but right here. We really don't want that to get messed up. 1.5 million plus without power now. Did they say what it was evacuated for? A hurricane? I saw it was evacuated yesterday or the day before. The fire. There was a fire in the VAB. It didn't damage the rocket. But yeah, there was a fire in the VAB and they evac'd it. And then they told everybody to go home. Yeah, it looks like the winds are starting to pick up in Port Canaveral here. I know those winds. Yeah. I'm sure people get storms in other parts of the world, but that wind, that ominous wind where it's really, really quiet, and all you hear is just shh. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah, that wind. I know that wind. The whistling, yeah, whistling, yeah, I know that wind. That means it's about to pour. Lot of water is about to fall from the sky. Calm before the storm. Indeed, yeah. Yeah. In Florida, yeah. Dude, it's really strange. It's really strange because the humidity drops. The humidity drops and it gets really cool out really, really fast. And then it rains a lot. Yeah, then it rains a lot. Yes, it'll rain a lot after that. Yeah. I remember this. I rode out a tropical storm and I watched the tropical storm from the balcony of my apartment. Yeah, I remember distinctly this. Yeah. Forge. It's weirdly peaceful in the eye. Oh, yeah, no. It's very peaceful, yeah. Until it's not. What? What?
People are asking, what is on my microphone? It is what you think it is. It's a condom. It helps protect the gear. We can't get these mics wet. There's a lot of wind. There's a lot of rain. So we got to do what we got to do. And that is put a condom on the microphone. His sound goes through that, I guess. Yeah, today I learned. I mean, it's supposed to be liquid proof. I mean, balloons are liquid proof. IQ2 gamer, and they're probably cheaper. Balloons. You could just pull the balloon, or like a rubber glove or something. Use what you have. Yeah, I guess so. Wait a minute. 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 Is that thing double? It's double bagged. Oh my god! Why did I notice that? It's double bagged. This is supposed to be a family show. Damn it. Now that's safe reporting. Oh, God. Extra safety if it ain't stupid. Oh, God. Okay. 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 Oh. That's enough. That's enough hurricane talk. I think we're good. I think we're good. reporting is hard work. You work long hours, and it's very hard work. You know what? I'm going to change the subject completely. Here you go. These are 10 U.S. cities where housing markets are cooling the fastest. We will talk about housing markets now. Seattle, Las Vegas, San Jose. It's San Jose, I know. San Diego, Sacramento, and Denver Thai, Phoenix, Oakland, Northport, Florida, and Tacoma. My house value. Is Northport water cooled? What? Lots of California there. Audio on. Nope. Okay. Hey, Northport, Florida. I live there, inland enough where it won't be water cooled. Okay. What will a hurricane do to house value? Half the list being California, they're cooling because the state is probably still being evacuated voluntarily. I'm sure that is a contributing factor in some way, shape, or form, caveman, but no, California has a housing problem, regardless of people wanting to not live there or live there. There is a housing problem. It's not, there are people moving out, but there are people moving out, but there's also influx. The influx outweighs the outflux, yeah, by a pretty significant margin. Yeah. And honestly, the influx is so ridiculously high, they cannot build houses fast enough in California. That's why the prices shoot through the roof. Plus, it's really desirable. It's California. It's beautiful weather all year round. So it's not, my plans for buying a house directly are contingent on a crash. I mean, Advana, you literally picked the worst place to live for that. Yeah, Silicon Valley's pretty damn recession-proof, man. Not anymore. State lost population 2 years in a row. By how much, Arknarovich? If you don't mind me asking, by how much? I mean, dude, if we're talking like 1,000-person deficit here, that's nothing. They're not going to be able to, even if people are leaving, you still can't build the houses fast enough. 117,552 last year. How many people live in that state, dude? I guess that's a step in the right direction, but I think 117,000 is inconsequential. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, dude. I don't live there. 39.5 million. Didn't say anything about houses. You just said the population is growing. Yeah, okay, so let me think about this. So I guess if it's not growing, then what's the problem here? That my guess is that they still can't build houses fast enough, right? They still can't. You still can't. Even if you have outflux, even if you have people leaving, you still can't build houses fast enough. So the prices aren't going to go down, right? I mean, the real estate prices, guys, are contingent on inventory. Very contingent on inventory. If there's no inventory, the prices don't go down. It doesn't matter if the feds jack the interest rates. Prices still ain't going to go down. People want out of apartments. Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Yeah, firework, yeah. Mm-hmm. House prices are dropping because interest rates are at 6.5%, so people can't buy anymore, so sellers have to drop the price. Yeah, I know. I just bought a house. I know how all that works, yeah. Speaking of places, any pictures of your new digs? Audrey, I post constant updates of the garage in Discord. I posted one today. Plus relocation. The state may have lost population, but the city may have doubled in size. Yeah. Interesting. Hey, guys. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Link? Yeah, sure. Sure. Under pressure. Oh my goodness. That is the scariest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life, dude. Holy crap. Oh, hell no. Whoa. Yikes. Yeah, this just turned into hurricane news because it's freaking fascinating, but I generally hope it's hurt. But anyway, I've been capturing video from this webcam in Fort Myers all day, and I've put it into a time lapse. Check out the storm surge. Okay. Okay. There's a CSI Miami that started that way. Jeez, he should have worn the brown pants. Yep, still category 4. I don't know how. Yikes. I've seen it, Squall. Yeah. Uh-oh. So, this happens in Florida, okay? I know what's going to happen. I saw it happen in real time one time when I was watching that tropical storm I was telling you guys about. The water's going to keep flowing in, and then the surge is going to come. And then the storm drains will not be able to handle this flow rate. And like basically the amount of water coming in and the amount of water that the road is designed to get rid of quick. Yeah, the amount of water coming in greatly exceeds the amount of water that the road can drain. So, yeah, the water starts building up. And then what gets even worse is that it's going to blow leaves around all over the street, and then the leaves cover up the drain. Yeah, I know exactly what's going to happen here. Watch. See the leaves? They'll start blowing. See, yep. Oh, boy. See, that road's still draining pretty well right now. It's still draining it. It's about to not be. Yep, nope, yep. Storm drains can't take it anymore. Oh, my goodness. That is scary as hell. Now, actually, you know what's kind of crazy? It's still draining. It just can't drain the water fast enough. That's why you're getting currents literally going down the street. It's draining. Interestingly enough. And then watch. The hurricane will blow all the leaves around. And the leaves will get stuck in the road. And they'll clog the drains. Oh my goodness, that's scary, man. You should try flying in Flight Sim right now? No, I'm good. Yep. I saw this happen. I saw it happen in real time, dude. Once again, I was kind of dumb when I was like 19. There was a tropical storm, and that's the only time I've ever heard the emergency alert system actually not be a test. They were like, go inside. I think this was like late 2006, or yeah, it would have been late 2006, or like somewhere, yeah, sometime around there. There's a tropical storm that came through Central Florida. Snow or hurricane? Snow. Yeah, where I'm from, you don't have to worry about earthquakes. You don't necessarily have to worry about hurricanes. Just blizzards. Blizzards are not as bad as hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes. Yeah, they're not too bad. But you got to be careful with blizzards, because if you underestimate a blizzard, it will literally snow you in, and then you're screwed. So what's worse, being there and the storm drives the sea onto the land, or being on a cliff knowing that the next storm could literally leave your house on an edge? I don't know, man. I just don't live near the water. Talking about the calm before the storm right near your house. It's very calm right now. Yep. We don't have the EAS in Denmark, but it sounds scary when it goes off. Man, you guys have a lot of hurricane links. Jeez. Yeah, I saw the Kermit footage. The Kermit footage is nuts, dude. Yeah, I saw that already, Hibbit. Jim got kneecapped by a freaking branch. So, what's up, Forge? Why did the planes go there? They're monitoring the hurricane up close. Oh man, the turbulence must be out of control.
We're alright. We're alright.
Yeah, I don't think this is a C-130. This is a NOAA plane. No way I'd get on the plane? Dude, I'd rather be on the plane than on the ground, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like turbulence. Guys, I like turbulence a lot. Yeah, turbulence puts me to sleep. Straight up. Storm 06 or Nesto? I don't remember, Novus. I remember going outside like a moron and watching the rain literally go sideways and up. Yeah, that was strange. You're weird. No, I take great comfort in turbulence. Hitting turbulence actually is very calming for me, believe it or not. Because if you're hitting turbulence, that means the atmosphere is still there. So I mean, don't get me wrong, smooth flights are nice, but you're never gonna get a totally smooth flight. There's gonna be some turbulence somewhere. Turbulence means the wings are doing what they're supposed to. That's how I look at that. The giant port. I saw it.
Coming out of this.
Are you saying question? Yeah, that's a pretty bumpy ride. I'd do it. I'd do this. Sure. Why not? It wouldn't scare me at all. No. Yeah, if a plane is experienced, this is what I told Remo. Remo used to not like flying. I just told her, she's like, oh, I don't like turbulence. I mean, turbulence means the wings are working correctly. Think about it. The sky is never going to be perfect laminar flow the entire time. You're going to get turbulent air at some point. If you hit turbulent air, that means the atmosphere still exists. If you didn't hit turbulence at some point, it would be a little weird. Imagine how much the wings are shaking. Yeah. Cross shear? What's cross shear? I don't know what that means. No way. No way. No way. No way. Look at this, dudes.
mean to do that, but yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. That guy would be from Florida. That guy would be. He would be from Florida. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that doesn't mute the VOD too much. You know what's kind of crazy? You know, I just kind of had a realization. We're getting live updates from social media on the hurricane, and yeah, like literally in real time as they happen. That's Night Sun Temple. That's very strange. Hey, Hibbit, you were talking about Charlie. Jim, my buddy Jim, posted this. Oh, brick. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, houses are moving. That's not good. Yeah. That's, I saw that already, Bandit, yeah. House is floating away. You guys are linking the same tweets over and over again. You know that, right? Like... Well, that's the top of someone's house.
Oh, I can't do video because I'm on the phone.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Josh, 68-month resub. Thanks, man. Makes you wonder how many people in history got caught outside because they didn't understand they were in the eye of the storm and more was to come. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, fellas, turbulence don't bother me. It means the wings are doing what they're supposed to. Because if you tried to fight turbulence to shear force, the wings would fall off. You'd 154 the wings. Turbulence means the plane is moving with the turbulent air. Yeah, you don't want to try to fight that. It'll rip the plane in half. That's what I mean about it working. That's why turbulence always, yep, that means this plane is working correctly. I like being rocked back and forth. It's freaking sweet. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it sooner rather than later. It's getting to the point where it's getting annoying. Yep, that's right, Hawks. It makes me wonder how many people got hurricane insurance once they figured out Ian was coming. That's not how hurricane insurance works. You're not going to get approved
Discovery,
in time.
go at throttle up.
Aside Vox, hey! Welcome to Mission Control. You go at throttle up. Any plans to make the DART mission in Kerbal? I don't know. Yeah, you got to underwrite the policy, and part of underwriting an insurance policy is making sure that it's not fraudulent. And yeah, honestly, if you're in the floodplain, if you're in a flood zone, you're shoot out of luck. Get flood insurance, or else you're screwed. Did you go over the space that you linked? Nope, haven't done that. Haven't done that yet. Statewide internet connectivity in Florida has fallen to 82%. Oh boy. I've been inundated with hurricane links, to be honest with you. What is the state of Kerbal like? Are you still planning things out?
Fellas, it hasn't been on my mind, to be honest. The Kerbal's on the back burner right now. That doesn't mean it's not coming back, to be honest with you. Uh, yeah, that's right, Hibbit. Yep. Um, yeah, I'm, guys, what I'm trying to do is finish the shop. I gotta get the shop up and running for auto streams. That's my big thing. And honestly, it's better to come in and jump in and play something that doesn't occupy a lot of headspace, like Cities or F1 Manager, or, you know, Hearts. Hearts kind of does, but yeah. Don't worry. We'll get back to playing KSP. Don't worry. I gotta finish working in there. And when I do, I'm almost done, to be honest. And when I do, we'll get back to playing it. Yeah, Wisp, I don't know, maybe. To add to that, when are we getting stationeers? You got a license for that gun show? I got a license for a farmer's tan. I thought KSP was on hold until the SLS launch. It's in the back of my mind, fellas. Stream working on the shop. I usually work on the shop for a couple hours every day, but what I've been doing working on the shop 2020 is getting the streaming rig up and running. I don't need to stream me getting the streaming rig up and running. I don't need to do that. So guys, right now I'm just kind of playing what I want to play, and we're doing space news, and we'll go from there. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Yeah, maybe Aqualex, yeah. So, I just need to get everything figured out and situated in the garage. Yeah, it's just, that's my big project right now. That's the big project. That's all. Streaming working on the shop will just make working on the shop take longer to finish, really. Bingo. No, not right now, Dish. I just felt like standing up. You did talk about career mode space shuttles. Okay. I'm surprised you got like streaming as soon as you did with the new house. Yeah, I wanted to get up and running. Yeah, you know, it was finish the office, now it's finish the shop, dude. Nice Dish. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with KSP, guys. I know that's probably not what some people want to hear, but I think your game choice has been pretty crisp lately, digging the choices. Right on. Yeah. I want to get back to playing it, dude, but Kerbal, the way I play Kerbal requires a lot of effort. It requires a lot of time and effort. It requires a ton of planning. And I honestly just want to make sure that everything is good here before I go back. I'm not trying to, this is going to sound weird, but go back on autopilot, you know what I mean? Like wake up, stream, eat, like get, you know, like I got to make sure everything is good so we can get into a routine where stuff actually gets done. That's all, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so, you know, if it takes a month, so be it. If it takes a week, so be it. Like, yeah, I really want to get the shop figured out so we can start doing cool stuff like building rockets in real life. Like building high-powered rockets. I kind of want to do that. I think that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty good supplemental content. Can you shamelessly plug Rocket Guy? He's doing Kerbal with launch pads. Got another squirrel out of the shop today. That's 2 this week. Nice. Yeah.
How's the shop coming along? I have been posting update pictures in chat. I almost got the streaming computer set up and ready to go. Please excuse the cable management. Yeah, it's terrible. Because I needed to get the switch up and running. I put in a local switch here. This is coming from the house. One of these going out is going to a switch in this room for the computers. And the other one is going to the streaming PC. There's the comfy couch that you guys know. And there's the grill from Tough Enough right there. Yeah, this was like this. I gotta clean all this. That's all really dirty in there. I got my skateboard and my Scarface poster. It's an IBM Model M. It was made in 1989. Yeah, it's a real Model M. I'll show it to you guys. But what I got done today was getting I ran the internet wire up, not on the ceiling, but in the wall. Not in the wall. It's kind of hanging on one of the upper rafters. And then I ran it down here to the switch. The switch isn't mounted, but I'm going to mount the switch right there. I'm going to mount it right there next to the surge protector. The surge protector is mounted up against this beam. Scribed and drilled a couple of holes and then put screws in there. And that's what's holding the surge protector up. And then I got to make sure that wire isn't touching these conduits right here. Those are electrical conduits for the other circuits on the other side of the garage. The amp is over there. Yeah, the comfy corner is going to be where I set up the drum set eventually. The drums and the guitar are going to be in this corner. My real drum set, the actual drum set, not an electric one. And then the guitar is going to be there too. The couch is coming into my office eventually. I got to finish the door, and then we got to finish the rest of the drop ceiling, dudes. This is what I mean. If I start jumping back into a Kerbal routine, this stuff will never get done. It'll never get done. It'll just sit, and I don't want it to sit. So yeah, I've been trying to be pretty transparent about what I'm doing with the garage, and what I'm doing with the garage and what I'm changing and why I'm upgrading it, etc., etc. You were off KSP before the new home was even a thing. False. But yeah, guys, I want to build like high-powered rockets. Do HPR. I want to, I want to work on the trucks, etc., etc., and then a bunch of other things. One second. You robbed KSC the last time the SSTO exploded, and I do not blame you in the slightest. I'm not going to lie to you, Moto. The SSTO popping left a really sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, I guess I could say that in hindsight. That really pissed me off, man. I worked so hard on getting that thing to go. Seeing it blow up in my face really, really bothered me. I had to stop playing for a little while. But I did start, guys, I started playing in the spring. We started playing again. I built MLV. Do you guys remember? You guys don't remember that? We engineered out the medium launch vehicle, and then we discovered hybrid tech and started fixing launch pads. You don't remember this? Will you really start building model rockets? That's the plan. I'm in a club for high-powered rockets. I'm sure you know this, but the stuff we use is literally open source. Anyone can mess with them. I know. Hybrid tech. Yeah, I found a way to use Kraken tech and the robotics together, Audrey, as one vehicle with same vessel collision on physics-less parts. Physics-less parts don't drift around. So if you have hydraulics attached to physics-less parts with same vessel collision, you can create stuff that does not drift, doesn't bend, doesn't flex.
stays absurdly rigid. So I made MLV, the medium launch vehicle. MLV is, and once again, I spent like an entire month. I spent an entire month, I think it was May, getting that thing made. MLV is Condor 9 2.0. It is a... we did the whole thing with Kraken drives and stuff. I don't know if I even have a picture of the dang thing. Nope. Yeah. It's pretty cool. So, with the KSP, is there are plenty of other technical games to play to demonstrate STEM concepts, cities, stationaries, heck, even F1, even though I'm not much of a racing guy. Yeah, guys, we're doing just fine without it, but I do want to go back and play it. All that work that we did on MLV, it'd be a shame not to use it. And I would like to, sorry, that's the upper monitor. I would like to, maybe shuttle career. That would be fun. But yeah, anyway, let's see if there's an update from Starbase. All right, let's see what we got. RIP CH4 pump. Oh. Yeah, I guess they didn't like that. That tank is sick. That tank is amazing. Look at the trailer. That's awesome. Why is Enterprise in space though? Why Enterprise? Why is it in space? It's not. I ain't gonna ask questions. How do you know that's Enterprise? The paint job. Enterprise had a thermal protection system painted on, like Ship 24. It has paint. It had fiberglass tiles on it to simulate the silicate tiles. Yeah, so it was painted a little bit differently. They replaced about a dozen cryo pumps, and they keep breaking. You know what breaks hydraulic pumps, Phil? Cavitation. They're probably trying to flow propellants too fast, if I had to guess. Cavitation inside of a hydraulic impeller is not good for it. It'll break things. Raptor inspection stand is still up there. I've seen the phenomenon, yeah. Damn crooked screen.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Damn, Chuck, wait a minute. That was $50, dude. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Chuck left no tip message, but I do appreciate it, man. Thank you. Oh, team meeting. Man, this thing's really starting to look industrial, huh? I mean, not that it didn't before, but damn, dude. To help out with things, I love what you're doing. Thanks, man. Looks like the side of a Star Destroyer from a distance. Dude, yeah, no, I totally see it. I see exactly what you're talking about. And that looks like a turbo laser. The giblet, yeah. Oh dear. I crafted my sleek turkey body. Giblets. Yeah, see these things? These little, see that little gray thing right there? That my finger, that, I don't know, an inch above my finger? Cameras. There's cameras everywhere on that thing. The guns, they've stopped. Pick up your visual scanning. Watch for enemy fighters. Do you know how much different it is to build a model rocket to a model plane? I imagine they share any similar concepts. I would say that building a rocket is more difficult, Squall. Rocket does a lot of things very, very quickly. A plane does not a lot of things more slowly. Yeah. If that makes any sense. Then again, I've never really built a model airplane, Squall, to be honest. I just flew kit planes when I was younger. Like just an RC plane you bought at the store. I've made model rockets in the past, but it was so long ago I was probably doing everything completely wrong because it exploded. And whatever I did learn from it is, I've probably learned it 4 or 5 times over from KSP. No, just a kit plane. The plane that came in a kit. One that you had to put together, Zero. An RC plane. Yeah. Yeah, never done it. How the heck did you blow up a model rocket? Does that answer your question? I took an Estes rocket and I taped a bunch of attachable boosters to it. It didn't really explode, per se. What happened was, so what I did, you know, the igniter, right, with the AA batteries, it has the, you know, the light, and you have the button to spark the igniter, right? What I did
was I split that wire a bunch of times. I literally cut my igniter, and then I soldered and split the wire into, I think I had like 6 rocket engines around a center rocket engine. And then I tried to ignite it, and I did not achieve simultaneous ignition. Oh, that's cool. You can print them. Neat. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't achieve simultaneous ignition. The thing went off, and I think two of the 6 ignited, or 2 of the 7, because there was one in the center, ignited, and it kind of just went up and over and down, and boom. Yeah, I did that when I was like 15 or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then I was like, I like rockets, but this didn't work, so I gave up. Because I was 15, I didn't know any better. It did not look like Delta IV Heavy. You guys ever seen that Proton launch from 2013? It looked like that. Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of... Yeah. Yeah. I launched that in a cul-de-sac near my house. I'm really happy that it landed in someone's backyard because... Yeah. If it didn't, yeah. Yeah. So it was more than 20 years ago. Yes. Yes. It did an Intelsat 708. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Well, when we do it, the next time we do this, I'll do better. Not even a park field, for shame. It's 15, dude. I don't even know where I got the rocket engines from. I think I bought them at the store or whatever. Like, you could just go buy rocket motors. Like, yeah, didn't achieve simultaneous ignition. That didn't really work too well. Yeah, I'm amazed I didn't lose a finger. Because I remember I hit the igniter, and this was like one of the first times I ever screwed with like any rocket ever. I hit the igniter. Don't get me wrong, I had launched model rockets in the past, but I hadn't done it in a long time for whatever reason. Like, the last time I did was launching rockets with my dad, right? Or something like that. I hit the igniter, and then nothing happened. And me being dumb, started walking towards it. And then when I was about, I don't know, 10 yards away, you know. Stupid. That's really stupid. That was really stupid. Yeah. Pretty bonehead move. Yeah, Electron, yeah. Time Joe and I tried to launch one. Yeah, the umbilical got stuck and the thing just ended up kind of dribbling off. In a way, rolling Artemis 1 back to the VAB will allow them to do the things they've been trying to avoid doing. That's correct, Caviar. Yeah, it's better for the vehicle. Yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Yep, 26's nose cone moved to the high pin. Bum 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 bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Get the frick up. Bum-bum-bum-bum. Sorry. New nose cone emergence for 10-3. That's well, that on any other place that might seem strange. Simon says, "Get the frick up! Throw your hands to the sky!" Boop, 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 boop. Who's this in the back, sick and Jack? Now what's up? Bum 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 bum. Starship, flap your wings! Yeah. All right. Did you guys see that? Hold on. Look. Wing control surface axle thing. Booster 9 appears to be the first boost booter to utilize electric TVC on Raptor 2. Cool. Cool. Watching Falcon 9 landing is exciting. I can't imagine what seeing both stages for Starship and Booster coming back as a common thing will look like. Dude, Caviar, the first time they catch one of those things, I will... So, I'm either going to do what happened the first time we saw Starship launch and go, like, oh my goodness, like that. Or I will go past the oh my goodness and just kind of be like, huh, wow, that's cool. Do we know when the next Starship launch is ish? SpaceX is trying to work towards a November launch date. Trying to. Yeah, whatever. Gotcha. Whatever. The grain silo literally flew to 40,000 feet and came back down and landed. Okay. Yeah, the Falcon Heavy landing. Yeah, we could do that too. It's going to be one of those responses. But yeah. All right. Hey, WD-40, how you holding up, dude? Everything good? You're not swimming yet, right? If you're okay with paying a bit for print files, what's a bit? What does that mean? Oh, that's not too bad. So you 3D print that sucker, huh? That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. I'm gonna go with option 3. You'll be doing a drop version of yesterday with the Delta 4 Heavy footage. Yeah, I'll probably. Dude, seeing that thing come back down and land is gonna be the strangest. That's good, dude. It's gonna look weird. You're gonna see it, and we're all gonna look at it, and we're just gonna be like, whoa. You still have internet and power, but things will get worse through the night. Should be okay on this side. All right, man. Don't be a stranger. Keep in touch, okay? And that goes for anybody else that's down in Florida. Please let me know if you're, alive. I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to, but appreciate it. If you don't have internet, then don't worry about it, but it'll be the same feeling watching Falcon 9 land those first dozen times. Yeah. Dude, it's weird. I've talked about this before, Darius. I mean, you're relatively newer to the stream, but like it might, that's what I mean. It might be worse than Falcon 9, like the original Falcon 9 landings. The reason why is because, well, like as I grow older, I know more and more about rockets and how they work. And when I learn more and more about rockets, I don't know about you guys, when I gain a better understanding of what I'm doing, right? Or like this goes pretty much for anything. You learn to appreciate it a lot more. Like I appreciate Falcon 9 way more nowadays than I did like in 2015, 2016 because I'm not familiar with the technology. Like I've never touched, well, that's not true. I was about to say I've never touched a Falcon 9, but that's not true at all. Like I've never worked on one. I don't know how to put an engine together. I have no idea, but I know how the engine works. I know how it works. And I've watched enough of these things to know how it goes together in some way, shape, or form, right? And the more I've learned, the more I appreciate it. The hype gets crazier and crazier. Like, look at Delta IV Heavy the other day. I've seen plenty of Delta IV Heavy launches. Sure. I've seen plenty of them. I don't know, man. That one just really kind of got me. Maybe it was because it's the last one from Slick 6. So I was paying attention more than normal, you know? Yeah, seeing one land is one of the strangest things. You've never seen anything like it. It's so weird. Sure, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know anything. Yeah. I mean, obviously, that's not exactly what I'm talking about, though. But you're right. But that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that, like, I appreciate the rockets more, and I get more excited about them than I did a number of years back because I understand what it's doing. You know, you sit there, you see the rocket land. It's like, oh, it's firing its engine. It comes down and land. When you realize that, you know, like a Merlin engine is using a pintle injection system that was derived from the Lunar Module Descent Engine, the LMDE from the Apollo program. And it's using a Carolox cycle with densified liquid oxygen propellants, right? The Carolox is open cycle with densified liquid propellants. And the pintle injector allows for deep throttle ability. So, you know, it can come back down and throttle the engine and land, which is like one of the key things. And, you know, like supersonic retropropulsion, stuff like that. Like, yeah, he said it. Oh my God. Like, I understand more and more how that stuff actually works. Like how all that stuff comes together to actually make it work. And it blows my mind even more than it did 5 years ago. Like that, there's an incredible amount of things that actually just have to work for a Falcon 9 to come back down and land, or to even launch a payload in the first place. And yet they do it once a week. It's truly an insane capability. That's ridiculous. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I appreciate it every time it launches. I appreciate it more and more. It's absolutely nuts. So when Starship comes down and lands, like, I'm thinking, like, it's going to be one of those things. I'm either going to blow a gasket or I'm going to go full tilt and just be like, man, you know, like, it's going to be one or the other. Because, like, unlike Falcon, like, I started really getting into what SpaceX was doing right after they got a drag into the ISS. So basically 2013 onwards. That's when I was like, really like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. They actually sent something to the space station. You know, I thought nothing would get back to the space station, you know, because the shuttle's on its way out, right? Like, so, like, I wasn't there for Falcon 9's first flight. I didn't watch that live. I wasn't even there for any of the Falcon 1 missions. You know, that I was off doing other things. Thinking I wasn't smart enough to understand rocket science, which is kind of funny. Yeah, don't doubt yourself. It might seem like, you know, hard thing to do. Just do it. Just commit and you'll get it eventually. Just on a side note. But I've seen this vehicle from the ground up, like from Starhopper forward. I've watched every Starship launch. I look at Boca Chica almost every day. You know, it's gonna be crazier because I know what this thing is doing. I know we watched it go together. We watched them get put together. We watched them get tested. We watched them get static fired. We've seen the whole damn thing. It's gonna be even crazier. It was 2012, not 2013 was the first drag into the ISS. I see you weren't listening again, W. That's fine. It's okay. I said after they went to the ISS. After. The first Falcon 9 launch that I watched live was after that in 2013. Relax. And then he saw Falcon land. Oh, Atran, that was a remarkable day. That was a remarkable day. It was pretty cool. Yeah, there's, dude, seeing Starship, when that thing comes down and lands, I'm either going to go Looney Tunes or I'm just going to sit there and be like, it did it. It caught it. See that? It freaking, look at that. It freaking caught the thing. You know, like, that's crazy. Anyway. Yeah, pretty nutso.
Well, yeah, son of a gun, it actually did it. Like, yeah, it's gonna be like that, Darius. Like, it's either gonna be that or I'm gonna be like, you know, like, it's like, oh my god, that thing actually did it. That's so cool. You know? It's gonna be one or the other. Did you say they want to launch Starship in November? That's what they're thinking. Yeah, that's what they're thinking about doing, dudes. Yeah. It smells like nerds in here. What's up, Yuri? 7 is back in the high bay getting some upgrades. That's correct. Yep. Yep, that's right. Sorry, something else. I hope they try to catch the booster. I think they're going to try to attempt to catch on the first try, Tomas, but that's just me huffing the hopium again. How crazy would it be if they managed to launch Starship in the same week as SLS? That would be really cool. How's Florida holding up? It's all right. Space News really just ended up turning into... Space News ended up just... Space News ended up just turning into hurricane news, yeah. We'll definitely get to see just how precise their guidance control system is with the heavy booster. Yep. Kennedy Space Center is in the path of Ian. Oh, I know. Well, yeah. The chopsticks are closer to finish than the launch pad. Hurricanes are cool to learn about, too. Yeah. Can confirm. Windy. Yep. All right. There's not much else in the space pipeline. Let me see what the next missions are. I'm gonna get that. I have next space flight on the. So let's take a look. So, what do we got? What do we got for upcoming missions? Let's see. So, Firefly Alpha is tomorrow night. It's at 3 in the morning. To the black. Launching out of Vandenberg, so it's going to be midnight Pacific. And then, so SES 2021 definitely got moved. That was supposed to launch in 2 days. Yeah, that's probably not happening. And then we have a Starlink, or not Starlink. Crew 5. We have Crew 5. We have a crew launch on Tuesday. There's 2 back-to-back launches on Tuesday. I highly doubt that they'll do that, but either way. And then there's another Electron next week, and then Galaxy 33 and 34. I'm not familiar with that mission. I'm going to have to go read about it. Yeah, Artemis 1's postponed for the foreseeable because the moon's going to fall out of phase. They have to get back to it. They have to wait until the moon comes around again. So we're looking at October for maybe even into November for a flight. There's a lot of good stuff. Gee, no launches out of Kennedy. I wonder why. No, some guy named Ian or something. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Anyway. What's the point of watching the Boca Chica stream every day, by the way? I thought Starship only changes every few months and not on a daily basis. You answered your own question. Back alley. You answered your own question. Because stuff does change every day, dude. I'm trying to... Back alley, I watch that footage every day because I'm trying to figure out what SpaceX is trying to do. Trying to figure out what their stakeholder expectations are for Starship. Now, don't get me wrong, we get a good deal of them from Elon, you know, going to the moon, human landing system for the moon, going to Mars, etc., etc. But I'm talking about, like, the engineering, like, their day-to-day engineering. That's what I try to look for. I try to look for and understand why SpaceX makes things the way they do by asking, you know, what are they trying to do? Why is the launch mount built the way that it is?
Why does it not have a flame diverter? Stuff like that. That's why I watch it. It helps me understand better and get a better grasp on what SpaceX is doing. I do this with SpaceX. I do this with NASA. I do it with Boeing. I do it with ULA. Anywhere I can. Anything, any material that I can use to learn and understand what to help me A, communicate STEM better, and B, expand my knowledge about rockets, I will not miss an opportunity to utilize and use it as a critical thinking exercise to help me understand. Does that make sense? Dad and I are planning a trip to Kennedy if it's still there in a few months. Any tips? Any tips? Tips. Do the extended tour at KCBC. Yeah, do that. Do the extended tour. You explained it perfectly, man. Understood. Yeah, it's just part of the daily grind, back alley. I'm always trying to. Every day I try to learn something new about rockets. Every day. Hey, Neb, what's going on? Electric plane, first flight, looks like 10 passengers. Oh, cool. This is one of the upgrades they're doing to the pad at the moment. Here's a preview of the animation. These large plates prevent explosions from entering the table through the side of the hold downs. Oh. Zach's got some pretty nice rendars. Move it down. Move it down from the other monitor. Everyone's so worried about rockets not launching from the Hurricane, but I'm more worried about when they're going to run out of Hurricane names. Okay. Thank you for the update. All right. So Ryan Hansen Space Renders did this. What are they working on here? That's the pneumatic umbilical there to start the engine, amongst other things. Those are Super Heavy's hold down points. Well, Jackal, I believe after they get through the, English alphabet, they move to the Greek alphabet after that. I think. I don't really remember. I remember that's happened before. But... That's what they do? Yep. Thought those were gun turrets for a second. Interesting. We're thinking the pad can hold down against the full static fire, right? No, I don't think so, Bill. No way. If something like the shuttle couldn't do it, I don't think Starship can do it either. The shuttle couldn't static fire the SRBs on the pad. It would have ripped the SRBs off of the pad. In fact, the hold down bolts are double redundant in that the igniter to crack the frangible nut on the SRB hold down points on the space shuttle has two. There's two igniters, and it'll hit one, it'll hit the other, so both of them go. But there were instances in the 80s when both of them didn't work, and it's cool. The SRB just rips itself off of the pad. If the shuttle has about 34 meganewtons of thrust, and it can rip itself off the pad, Super Heavy with 72 meganewtons of thrust will absolutely rip itself off the pad. Oh yeah, easily. Elon has said that he's aiming for TWR in line or higher than the space shuttle. So basically, Super Heavy's going to get Starship up and out of the atmosphere as quick as possible. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I don't think they could 33 engine static fire without Starship on top.
Starship needs to be on top, and Starship needs to be fully fueled and weighted down with payload. Yeah, some kind of mass simulator or something. That's just a guess, though. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll tell you. They don't have to light all to get off the pad anyway? Yeah, only about half of them would get Starship off of the pad sufficiently. The name is retired only if a storm is so deadly or costly that the future use of its name on a different storm would be inappropriate and insensitive. If all 21 names were used up in a season, the Greek alphabet was used. That happened only twice. Yep. When seeing the daily changes on Starship, are you knowledgeable enough to analyze it by yourself, or you depend on experts' opinions to help form your own opinions? I do it by myself, Back Alley. Yeah. That's a big thing that I try to teach here. Think for your freaking self. It's a real big thing that I try to teach people. Think for your freaking self. Don't regurgitate other people's opinions, and don't let other people's opinions influence your opinion. It's a really crappy way of thinking. That's not how engineering works, that's for sure. Engineering without analysis is just an opinion, and opinions are irrelevant in the context of engineering. Keep in mind, that's talking about in the context of engineering, you know? So yeah, dude, think for yourself. Critically think. Analyze stuff. Weigh pros and cons. That's literally what being an engineer is all about. Dude, you know what's funny? I see people regurgitate opinions in here sometimes, and I know where they came from. I've seen people, you know, like you see it all the time with, oh man, you know, everybody comes in here, oh, SLS is too expensive because somebody went and read Ars Technica and think they're an expert on rocket funding now. Literally happens every day, dude. I try to curb that. So to listen to you, got it. Don't regurgitate my opinions, Manor, that's for sure. Come to your own conclusion. That's part of the reason why, just as an example, I don't really talk about politics too much in here. Because I'll be honest, at the end of the day, if I'm going to be a teacher, the fundamental use for a teacher is to teach people how to think and then analyze the subject criteria based off of that. That is your job as an educator. It's very important, not just to regurgitate information. I guarantee you, if I say, for instance, how many of you had a professor that sucked, that couldn't convey the material correctly, and it was just regurgitating information and the class was horrible? I guarantee you a bunch of people are going to be like, me? Right now, watch. What? Or chat's over there. Watch chat. It's gross. It's gross and it's disgusting, and it demonstrates a fundamental lack of critical thinking. Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying everyone needs to do that. Now, most people don't have the time. They don't care. They don't care. They're doing their own thing. They're dealing with their own problems. That's perfectly all right. I'm talking about if you want to understand rocket science, you have to abide by that rule, by those rules. If you don't, you're never going to understand the source material correctly. The shuttle could have been used for crew rotations. Could the shuttle have been used for crew rotations on the ISS? Was that ever a plan? They rotated crew on the space station with the space shuttle from 1998 to 2011. Have you noticed that it's really hard to get people to be motivated to learn if they aren't curious about it in the first place? And that's why I love Rule 8. Never let Rule 8 die. Yeah, Manor. I mean, even if I had opinions that like 90% of you would agree with, that's echo chamber nonsense, dude. I don't do that. Use your freaking noodle, please. I didn't know that. Yeah, they'd launch with 7 people, RJ, and one person would stay and another person would come back down. Yeah. And Americans have been flying on Soyuz to the ISS since 1998. Or 2000. I disagree, Mavans. Good. You should. Look, man, another thing that feeds into another thing. If everyone's agreeing with you, you're in an echo chamber. Because, dude, think about it. If you offered a free lunch, someone would find a way to complain. If everyone's agreeing with you,
You're surrounded by sycophants. You're not learning anything. You're not challenging your opinions. That's bad. That's bad for you. So, back, Elliot, have you noticed that it's really hard to get people to be motivated to learn if they aren't curious about it in the first place? You can't force people to do it, man. You can't force people to do it. It's up to you. I don't force anybody to like spaceflight. I just show you how cool it actually is, how cool and interesting it is, and that you get people, you pique people's curiosity that way. They could have done a full crew rotation if they had some kind of extended crew module in the cargo bay. Yeah, Caviar, but people riding in the cargo bay was not a particularly good idea. I mean, you could. Sure, why not? I don't see why you couldn't. It wouldn't be any more dangerous or less dangerous than riding in the shuttle itself, but yeah. But yeah, I disagree. The beatings will continue until you are interested in space flight. Nice. Beatings will continue until spaceflight morale improves. Yeah, back alley, I don't force people to learn, dude. I don't force people to hear my opinions or anything. Like, try to get you guys to think. What I do try to do, and this is the closest thing I will come to interjecting opinion into what I teach. I will give you examples. I will give cited examples as to why I think the way that I do. I won't just state an opinion like canceling Constellation was stupid. I will explain it. And I will explain certain historical examples. I will give you good evidence to show why I have that opinion. And that's what I mean about critically thinking. Because if you go onto the Wikipedia page right now about Project Constellation, the Wikipedia page is not accurate. It is not. It says that, we favored commercial flights or some bull crap or something. They probably worded it in a way to make people not sound stupid or whatever. I don't freaking know. Right? But that was the 2010 NASA Authorization Act literally put our manned space flight program back about 30 years. Easily 30 years. Yeah. Yeah, and you could here we go. People say, "Oh no, it didn't." But what about SpaceX? Don't get me wrong. SpaceX is one of the good things that came out of Project Constellation being canceled. But what the Wikipedia article about Project Constellation's cancellation, what that doesn't tell you is that guess what? Commercial Crew and Commercial Orbital Transport Services were a program that was established under the Vision for Space Exploration. It's part of the Constellation program. They didn't invent it and then cancel Ares 1. They canceled Ares 1 and just said, here, have this as a consolation prize. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a pretty good consolation prize. To be 100% fair, that thing is pretty cool. I do appreciate this. That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat right there, too. It's not all bad. But we were literally on a path to have something like Constellation and this at the same time. That's the part that, once again, go on the Wikipedia page right now. It doesn't say that. You know what I mean? It won't say that. Yeah, it's fallen to 8 shenanigans. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, critically think, dudes. That's really important. It's really important to weigh your options. And more important after that is to look at yourself. You know what I mean? Self-introspection is very, very important. It's how you grow as a person. You know that Simpsons meme? They're like, am I out of touch? No, everybody else is wrong. You'd be surprised how often people do that. Like, take a good look in the mirror from time to time. I do it as much as possible. It's what keeps me on edge. It's what helps me grow as a person. Builder, it's quite interesting. My calculus teacher this year was the first to tell us that everything we had ever learned in math classes in the past was all a bunch of crap, only repeating memorized information. He told us that we are now able to think for ourselves and use our tools we've learned over our lives to solve problems in the future. I just think that mentality could be compared here. You can learn about space and rockets, but then you can go make your own opinions based off of that. Builder, I try as hard as I can, unless I'm conveying space news to you, to never regurgitate somebody else's view of rockets. Ever. Unless I say, like, oh, Elon thinks we should do this. And even then, I'll say, like, I'm not trying to parrot what he says. But I mean, to be honest, there is a lot of the way Elon Musk looks at spaceflight. I do agree with the vast majority of the things that, like, how he looks at it. So, yeah, I mean, Builder, that's what I mean. There's regurgitating source material, and then there's understanding material. And part of understanding material is being able to teach it. I'm confident in my abilities that I know enough about rocket science to be able to give you guys a pretty good picture of what's going on. Would I go do rocket science? No. Am I an engineer? No. I'm a STEM communicator. Differences. But yeah, you guys think whatever you want, dude. How's the road trip truck doing? I used it to build this office, Manor. Drove it today. Drove it to the store today. Thing's freaking Terminator, dude. Doesn't ever break. I should have named it the Terminator. Doesn't parts of it fall off. It just keeps going. Anyway, dudes. Yeah. Sorry, kind of got a little bit off track with space news there. So, fellas, tomorrow, because Firefly is going to at 3 in the morning, that means I'm going to be streaming from like 12 noontime to like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning the next day. I might end up having to take a break, but just so I can prepare. The only Terminator is the 0304 Cobra. Nice. 100% agree, and I really appreciate what you do for the space community. You've definitely taught me a lot about this stuff. Yep. Hey, Mad, what's going on? I'm a firm believer that NASA lost one of its largest public advocates when Walter Cronkite retired. True story. Yeah. But yeah, guys, so, you know, if we do end up doing a super long stream tomorrow, I kind of want to see if I can get a good night's sleep tonight. But also, I kind of want to play Hearts of Iron too. But also, I kind of want to play Cities as well. What should I do? You tell me. What do you want to see? I think out of Cities, Hearts, and Satisfactory and everything, Cities... We did play Cities the other day. Bed. You have 4 screens. Play both. Could do that. Man, that's pretty hung jury, dude. Go rest so you can get on the ball tomorrow. Cities of Iron. If tomorrow's going to end up being a 14, 15 or 15, 16 hour stream, maybe we should be responsible for a change. Cuz I wake up at 8 to work on the shop. I've been doing that every day since I moved. I get out there and I fix something out there. Turn your cities to ash and hearts of iron. Go hang with you, gal. Nice rested, clear headspace would benefit all of us. Rest, dude. Sleep. Making this difficult. Oh, I want to play Hearts of Iron. Damn it. I'll play Hearts for a couple hours and then we'll go. No, I shouldn't. I gotta be responsible. I own a house now. Damn it! I don't know, but I'm glad I'm not in Naples anymore. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Spend 2 hours on GSA auctions. I'm leaving. I'm gonna get sleep. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day. So yeah. No after hours tonight. Let's see who we can raid. That's the right move. Oh my god. We'll just play Hearts of Iron tomorrow. We'll play Hearts. We'll start with Hearts of Iron. Then we'll do Cities after that to the launch. Fair? Get you like 6 hours of Hearts, 6 hours of Cities, couple hours of Space News, and a rocket launch. And hold the fries. Tomorrow's gonna suck. That's gonna be really difficult to do. But I'm up to the task if I get sleep tonight. I'm up to the task. Let's do it. Let's do it. For the people that wanted to watch Cities, Taradra is playing Cities right now. Let's go see what he's doing. Are we getting Mint Raft on Saturday? Mint Raft? Oh, Minecraft. Yes. Guys, I'm gonna go give Taradra a host AI Day on Friday as well. Oh my goodness. All right.